This is the guy 4 here, bringing you a deck profile on the Gladiator beast from my friend Mike. I'm going to let him take it from here.
Alrighty. Alright, in my deck, I do run 3 Andals, and the reason why I run 3 Andals is obviously because to rescue rabbits. Obviously you don't run Andal unless you run Rabbit. Rabbit is just way too good, I think. Well, the first turn Rabbit is way too good because you go to Rabbit, you go to this guy, you can either go contact into an Essadari, and that makes the other Rabbit playable, or go into a Tiger King, but I'll get into that later.
Why do you only run 3 vanillas?
I was tempted on running, honestly, the 3 Saber Swords as well, because obviously a first run Logia, you can't beat that either. But it just, there's no synergy with the Saber Swords. And I know the Firefist decks are doing that, but no, like right now the 3 Animals is good enough. Okay, then 3 Laquaris. Obviously, because he's the biggest Glad that can tag out, and he's also a Beast Warrior, so he can actually work with some of the Beast Warrior support in this deck.
He gets the 200 boost, right?
100 for each one.
100.
Like for each fire fishing card, he gets 100. And plus, after you tag him in, he's 21.
That's,
so then,
yeah,
and
so,
see, further, he's 22. He can get really big. 2 Darius, also Beast Wars. He's pretty good. And you also have to run Darius because he just helps with field presence. He can bring back some of these guys to go into. You can go to Essadari.
So he's like a Reborn.
In a way, yeah.
Gotcha.
And he makes way too many plays with these guys for Tiger King also.
Yeah, all the overlays.
Yeah. And the non-Beast Warrior Glads are 2 Quests. The reason why is because the Quest is just way too good, especially because you can get cards back to your hand. You can get War Chariot back to your hand. You can, War Chariot. Especially if you go into Geysaris, you can go into two a quest and get 2 cards back to your hand, like depending on the situation.
And just plan for future moves.
Yeah, and the 1 Bestiari, because Bestiari is the most useful Glad in the entire deck.
Yeah.
For Geysaris.
He's an MST plus Geysaris.
Yeah.
That's good.
And the only 9 Glads I'm running in the deck are 3, well, besides Rabbit, or 3 Firefist monsters, 1 Gorilla, 2 Bear. I was tempted on running just the 3 Bear, but there have been times where I don't really want the 3. Like, I mean, I had a third one. I just really thought, like, having the 1 Gorilla would be a good tech card to take, like, in case there are the situations where I have to get rid of a back row or something. So, you know,
always better to have options.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the 3 Bear would be nice, but 2's enough for me. Master Monsters, I think that's a total of 16. Spell lineup, run 3 Tenki because it's one of the best searching cards out right now, especially because since so many of the Glads are Beast Warrior, that works really well. Plus, I'm running the Fire Fist, these guys are just,
they're totally gonna hit.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's gonna go to 1, I think.
They're totally hitting a Tenki.
And 1 Tensu just for the Tiger King plays. And honestly, I can't actually use Tensu with Bestiari, one of the Beast Warriors, because I can always, like, with the Beast Warrior Glads, like, set a Bestiari, play this, and my opponent gets all confused, and then just, like, summon an Andal, and then go into a Geysaris. It's way too good. Again, just 1, because I ran 2 for a while, but, like, it was a horrible top deck.
Does it clog?
It can be, yeah. But Tenki's never...
Tenki never clogs.
It's never a dead draw, but this thing actually can be. So just 1. And also, since I'm running Glads, I hate back rows, so 3 MSTs and 1 Heavy Storm. For obvious reasons, like, you know, Glads gotta get their attacks off. Technically the same for the Fire Fist, so you have to get you have to have back row hate.
Back row hate.
Yeah, and then 2 Lances. Obviously, this Lance is way too good this format. Also, considering that,
because of the back row, like the back row is the new thing, and that's like the anti-back row card.
In a way, like it can save my Glads from turns with bombs, all that kind of stuff. Even the Fire Fist, like just Lance with them, and then like they can still get like a pop off
Fair
of
effects
attack
plus the attack.
Yeah, it's too good. And then staples, the Book of Moon, Dark Hole, and Monster Reborn, and these guys are kind of self-explanatory.
Why the Book of Moon?
Book of Moon, I've always loved Book of Moon. Things like I know a lot of decks aren't running anymore because like I'm actually kind of surprised. Like they're not meaning, not saying like they are just not running Book of Moon anymore. I think it's way too good, especially in the Gladiator.
Yeah, everybody used to run it like religious.
I mean, I think it's still good, especially in Glads and Firefist because especially in Glads because like if they have a giant monster, just Book of Moon face down, then I can either attack over it or even just attack into it to get a Glad effect off, like going like. The point is, and also, it's offense and defense. Like, and they can even like stop your opponent from killing you. Like, you know, they're about to exceed someone with just put them in the monster. All right, that's about 13 traps. Oh, I'm sorry, 13 spells. Onto the trap lineup. 2 Phoenix Chain. I think Phoenix Chain is so good this format. Like, I mean, it's really obviously it's not that great against like Murmels and stuff, but it's still really good against, especially against Fire Fist because they're running around everywhere. It's even kind of good against like Dire Rabbits because then like they have to waste like the Logia effect to negate it. You know, if you do it on Logia, it stops Dolka.
Yeah.
Like Phoenix is, I think it's just way too good against. Like,
It's like the
seven
substitute
decks.
for Valor in the new format.
Kind of. I mean, Grand Valor is better because you can do a first turn, but this again,
It was continuous.
for the fact that it's permanently negated as long as it's on it, and
Yeah.
it came in attack, it's
Yeah.
just too good. Let's see, we got 2 Bottomless, because Bottomless is also very good in this format, especially with Rabbits. Rabbit decks are running on everywhere, so yeah,
Yeah,
Bottomless.
you can run Rabbit in almost anything now.
Sadly. 2 Ward Chariots. I used to run 3, but sadly with the deck space, I can only run 2. Also, I'm running the 2 Phoenix Change, so that kind of bounces out. Like, don't get me wrong, this card's way better because it's like a 1-card Dolka.
And it destroys, yes.
Yeah,
That's
it destroys the monster, and this can actually get cards like in the
and you can
hand.
use the one guy to bring it back to your hand.
Exactly. It's like it's
A Glad Beast card. So
yeah, you can recycle it, which is why it's really amazing. Here's a personal tech choice: 2 Horned Fan Beast. Even though this card can be situational, because obviously I do run non-Beast Wards in the deck, like the Quest and Bestiari. Since the majority of the cards in my deck are Beast Ward, this card's way too good to get for Glad. It makes it look hard gigantic, and even Baron Gorilla get gigantic, and then you can draw a card, and after they get their text, they gain something else. So in a way, it can be a +2.
even if you don't need it, like you can side. It's like side bait.
Oh, honestly, this card I do side out a lot depending on the matchup. So like, yeah, it is like it is very sideable. The 1 Mirror Force I would run 2, but again, deck space is a little bit tight, and 1 is good enough. Okay, and then for protection, Dark Bribe and Starlight Road. I was running 2 Starlight Roads, but Dark Bribe can also
It's
obviously
more versatile.
Yeah, I mean this is obviously to stop Heavy Storm, but this can also stop Heavy Storm if I have to. Granted, I'd rather use just to stop Heavy Storm, but
Yeah.
but Dark Bribe is it's always there to negate anything, so
Yep.
that's what I like about it. And then the 2 Solemns because
Perfect.
yeah, you have to. And that's 13 traps. The main deck is at 42, I believe. And I guess you want the extra deck?
Yeah, you don't need to side, just extra's fine.
Actually, the side deck, I actually took it
Yeah,
apart.
yeah.
It's kind of situational. All right, so for the extra deck, for the fusions, 1 Asadari. I obviously was running 2 because you have to run 2 in the Glads, but since this deck there's a lot more Exceed options. So right now, just 1 Asadari. And honestly, at the last regional I went to, I only went into Asadari like every game I went to Asadari, I only went to him once. I never needed a second one. So I took 1 out just to make room for.
With Tiger King, you always need more than one.
Well, that's the thing. Actually, I took him out for a second Tiger King.
Yeah.
So. And let's see, I got 2 Geyseris because he is the best Gladiator Beast monster out there.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm not running the Prisma build, so it's really hard to actually be able to go turbo with him. But he's still there, and and he is still possible to make. And obviously, he's devastating. Destroy 2 cards, attack, and then get 2 card effects off. In fact, and also he's good because you can go into double quest or even double Darius, and the fact that you can go into Darius and everything, bring back Laquari, and go into Herc. You have to run at least 1 Herc in the deck because Herc is the 3,000
For that time when you can get him.
Granted, in this deck you don't go into as much. Again, if I was running the Prisma Tiger build, you can definitely go into him a lot faster.
Did you ever go into him at the regionals?
Sadly, no. This situation never came up. If I could, I would. But he's just way too good. I'm sorry. He's a 3,000 at that point Shien. So
yeah.
And plus him with at least 1 card in your hand and a face down Ward Chariot, it's really hard to get over. That's just the 5 fusions. For Exceeds, I run 2 Tiger Kings. This card is just unbelievable. The fact that he's a +2 is completely insane. I mean, especially with the first turn Rabbit play, it's way too. Summon him, go for a tanky, get a bear or card in your hand, way too good. And again, I ran into it. I realized there are so many times where I can actually go double Tiger King, or not double, go into 2 in 1 game, and the pluses are way too good. And then for other rank 4, you got Abyss Dweller, you got a Dire and Dire Wolf, a Papilloperative, a Cowboy, a Roach. Roach actually still is pretty good this format because there's always those surprisingly weird characters are surprisingly come up everywhere.
All those
dragons,
even
what's it called, fairy decks like Asian stuff.
Yeah, the new elemental dragons. That card's gonna be broke.
Well, actually, I'm not quite sure. I think they're
by effect.
I think so, but which is really annoying because it makes Roach not playable. But I'm not quite sure. But even so, Roach is still very good against certain decks. And 1 Maestro because he's just busted as hell. 1 Utopia because you have to run Utopia, and 1 Shockmaster because I can make him and he can actually go for game. And since I run Start Road, the 1 Stardust, and that's 15 extra deck monsters. I don't know if I have any more questions for me, but
what are some bad matchups for you?
Surprisingly enough, the worst matchup I think are decks that can just summon giant monsters like Chaos Dragons. Like I played one Chaos Dragon deck at the regional, and I surprisingly beat them. But the only reason I beat them is because of side deck D Fisher, and what else?
What about Malefics?
They can be annoying too because they just summon giant monsters that I can't beat over. Granted, and obviously they can run skill drain, and then I can't get I can't get
effects off.
I can't get especially because I'm barely obviously against Malefics, Bear can just kill him, but skill drain decks can be really hurtful because then all my glats have no effects. Granted, I can still tag out, which is kind of cool, but then
how do you do against Dark Worlds?
Dark Worlds. Oh, okay. I'll grant Dark Worlds. I can't beat Dark Worlds unless again side deck. You have to. I do run the D Fissures and the what's it called? The War Chariots help you. Against Dark Worlds. I mean, granted, I didn't play any. Actually, there weren't a lot of Dark Worlds there at regionals.
No.
But a real fun matchup that I actually can compete against windups. I lost a windup deck. That just came into the top decking, and then I beat a windup deck. Just because actually also it came into the top deck. I top decked a Tenki or a Laquari, and he top decked a factory, so he couldn't really do anything.
Yeah.
But yeah. Besides that, again, this deck actually can beat anything as long as I.
Is it consistent?
Surprisingly, yes, it is. The only thing I don't think it's consistent is when you do top deck. Believe it or not, is when I do top deck these guys because if I top deck Tenki, that's amazing because I can just because then these guys are playable. If you just top deck a bear. Hopefully
he's not good unless you get that attack off.
What I'm saying, if I type a bear and he has a clear field, it's amazing. Get an attack, get a Tenki, go for a Laquari, and then add the Laquari just keep going. But yeah, again, this deck, as long as I have the right proper side deck, I can actually beat anything. But granted, I can also lose anything depending on the draws. But yes, that's the deck.
Okay, well, this is the guy 4 out.